Hey everybody, Randy here, back with my crazy idea about raising $10 billion for charity. And I'm here with my good friend and business colleague, Chris Jacob, who is down in St. Louis. I've known Chris for close to 20 years, I think. And Chris might have been the first person that I told about this crazy idea. And being the guy I know, he said, "How can I help?"
Yeah, I remember exactly where I was. I was in the airport in Detroit, coming back from St. Louis, and I was talking with you, and you said, "Hey, listen, I got an idea. I'm looking to raise," and I thought at first you said $1 billion for charity, which I thought that's pretty heady in and of itself. But then you said, no, $10 billion. Where did you come up with that figure, and why?
Well, part of where I came up with that is thanks to you, I've re-engaged with Dan Sullivan and the Strategic Coach group, and he actually does a podcast with Joe Polish, I think called 10X Talks. And since we're in such a weird environment and it's been such a weird year, I've had a little bit of time to sit and listen to what they're talking about, and I'm thinking, okay, so what can I 10X? What can I do as I, get on in my career after 35 years of doing this? What would be something that would mean something? I thought, well, I've already, let me count up what I've raised for charity so far. And I think it's about $1 billion. What if I 10X that? And I thought, and I let that idea sit for a while, and it just kind of took hold. I couldn't let go. And I have no idea how to kind of ramp this up. So I figured I'd start telling people. And again, your reaction, Chris, which was not only do you want to help, I think you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you said, "Hey, count me in. I'm good for $4 billion."
Yep, I sure did. Working on it too.
So I'm 40% of the way there before I've started. All I have to do is just call you every week and say, "Where's my first billion?" Right?
Go big or go home, right?
Go big or go home.
So advisors, and I know you work with a lot of them, including myself. And working with advisors, what do you see as the biggest pitfall, if you will, in them not knowing about philanthropy, or as we said before, it's not the crook we're worried about, it's the honest person who just doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things, Chris. First is advisors don't know what they don't know, right? There's this whole toolkit out there that they're unaware of for the most part. I'm educating people one advisor at a time, one client at a time. Very inefficient, but it's something I have to do in order to get people over those hurdles. That's number one. Number two, most advisors believe, and they've been taught, that if money's given to charity, they can't manage it anymore. And if they're asset managers, they go, "Oh man, that's not good for my business, so I'm not going to bring that up." And again, advisors don't like to bring up things they don't know anything about, so they're a little bit hesitant.
What do you have that you see as an opportunity going forward that you can reinforce and expand upon?
Well, I think there's a number of things. First of all, I think there's societal pressures right now and awareness that we have not had since the 1960s. If you can look at me, you can tell how old I am, I hope, or I think. I came up in the Vietnam War protests in the kind of the late 60s, racial tensions of the country. And I see a lot of those factors reemerging now. Plus, we have the pressure on, socially responsible investing and the environment, and all of these things sort of coalescing along with a kind of a Gen X that's very socially aware. Those factors are really in our favor. Plus, I think we're going to go into an economic period where the tax laws are going to be very adversely affected for our high net worth clients. I think we're going to see higher estate taxes. I think we're going to see higher income tax rates. All of those factors are going to lead people to look at giving as another opportunity to improve their own personal situation for themselves and their families. I think the pandemic has made everybody incredibly aware of the fragility of life. Almost everybody knows someone who has died, and so
Yeah.
most of us know somebody who's died early and unexpectedly. And it's made us more aware of mortality, and it's made us more aware of planning. Now all we have to do is become more aware of the needs in the world and how to best utilize the tools that are out there. And of course, you and I both know that if you deploy these tools properly, not only can we keep the inheritance intact, we can probably make it bigger in most cases. So, you know, it's all that misunderstanding in the world that we have to kind of work on. All we really ever try to do is reallocate dollars that would go to tax to let it be directed by the family to causes that they might believe in a little more than they believe in their government, or that they care about.
You and I both know if structured properly, it means more income to the individuals while they're living, potentially leaving more to the heirs and protected. And the money that would otherwise gone out the door to the government in taxes gets reallocated to causes and concerns that they care about. But it just takes planning to do that.
Yeah, you know, it's too complicated is, you know, one of the great responses. Well, paying taxes is simple, right? You just write big checks. But if you want to do something different, it's a little bit complicated to begin with. But once you have it in place, it's pretty simple. And once you see the power of it, it's unimaginably fabulous for people.
What makes you the guy that is going to hold up this flag, or, you know, how did you take on this mantle and why? I guess what makes you think you can lead the charge?
Well, I guess the question I have to ask myself is, why not me? I mean, if I don't do it, will anybody else? And by the way, if 25 people want to take it up, or 50 people, or 100 people, or 1,000 people, I'd be more than pleased. I realize I can't ever do this by myself. I'd be happy if 1,000 advisors said, "Hey, sign me up. You know, we want to sing that same song." It would be great. But you know, I can't count on that, and I can't wait until someone else does it. Problems don't get solved by us sitting around waiting for other people to solve them for us.
Right.
And so we have to change that. You know, I don't know how we're going to do that, but we have to change a whole industry, and that's what makes it fun.